Okay, so I'm going to save this as, and I want to, this is where we stop. So I am going to save it as, I'm still putting it Nigeria, and I'm going to use its, let's say, spatial joining. So I want to join some features, the way you can join. So I've saved it as, and I can remove these Nigerian UTM zones that we used before, and I am going to export this shapefile here, the same location, and let me save it as Nigerian state, but to make it different from others, so I'm going to write Nigeria SJ, which is like something like spatial joining, and I'll click OK, and I'll add it to the layer, and I'll remove this one. Now, let me bookmark this layer. Let me type it Nigerian view, so that we will have this view as a size. Okay, all right. So you see down here, if you open Nigerian shapefile, you will, let's make a quick inspection on this. We have this, and then I had this, so I'm going to delete this feed, I don't need it. I'm also going to delete this feed, I don't need it. And I want to delete the population feed also. And let's quickly inspect this. So this is this, so let me delete this as well, so I will have a smaller size of this. So you have here, now here, let me remove all this that is not necessary, because I want us to have a close inspection on this. Now you have a data which comprises Nigerian states. This Nigerian state can be different types of data that can be applied in different places. It can be that you have a hospitals around Gombe State, and in that hospitals you have created a shapefiles, a point of those hospitals, and then you are expected to add additional information to it. What will you do? So basically, you will start going up here, go here, create a new feed here. Let's say you want to add a population to this data, you can create a new feed and probably write it population, and let's say double, for example, and click OK, and you have a new population feed here. So it means that each of these features, like Abia State, you have to start editing and add the population of it, like manually. Now this is going to take you forever, and this is going to bring errors. What do I mean by bringing errors? In the process of typing, you might run into typing 2 instead of typing 3, or end up not putting this in the way it's supposed to be. So with that, you might spend up time here. You might also have this issue of adding the wrong information to it. Now, what if this is a long data that comprises of 100 tables or 200? How long are you going to get that done? So in that way, the fastest way of joining a new data to the existing one is by using joining and relate. Now, I want to assume this is Nigerian shapefile, and we want to add a population data to it. Now, this is a population. So, but before that, I want you to look at the shapefile, the attribute table we have here. You see that we have Abia, Omaya, Adamawa, Yola, and the rest of them, but we don't have the capital of these states. You can see here. Did you see any capital among these? No.
Awesome.
So what if somebody asks you, want you to add capital to it, and instead of you displaying, for example, if I label this, you see it's showing me Nigeria everywhere. So I want to change the feed of the labeling to another feed. So I am going to labeling tab, and then I will change this one to this one and click OK, and I have it, the name of the state, Oshun Oyo, Ogun, Taraba, Nasarawa, Plateau. Then somebody wants you to do a work labeling the, instead of saying Niger, you have Mina. And instead of you saying Oyo, you have Ibadan. Then instead of saying FCT, you have Abuja. Then instead of you having Kogi, you have Lokoja. Then instead of you having Lagos, you have Ikeja. So how do you relate this with the attribute table? Now, the best way to do it, instead of creating a new field here to edit them, the best thing to do is to have the external data. And the external data we are going to have is this. So I'm going to start with a capital. Now, if you look here, you see that I have the states and the capital here. Now, each of these states have a capital. Each of these states have a capital. And if you go down to our attribute table, you will see that each of them does not have capital, but there is a unique value there, which is name. One, which is Abia down to Yobe, including the Chad. Now, what do I have to do? I have to have a same thing that have the same information. You can see here that I have this down, look at the Lake Chad here, and I have all these states here, and I have the capital here. Now, what do I need to do? I need to save this Excel. Now, in working with spatial joining, you see this the way it is, whether this thing is arranged in alphabetical order or not. So let me give you an example. If I change this, you see the way it is, Abia down to Zamfara, it is in alphabetical order. Now, but what I need to do is that I need to have a unique key, a column that must have the same information with what I want to join. I don't know where you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So I need to have this one of the column that will have the same information with what I want to join. Now, if you look at this field, I've chosen to use this particular field because it's 0 down to 37. So what I did was that I have to have a data that have 0 to 37, which I can also use Zamfara because the Zamfara, Kogi, Imo, because I have the state that have the same type of information, which is this particular one. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah, but do you understand the concept of what I'm trying to say? Why I
Yes,
am
sir.
explaining? Yeah. So now, if you are good, so the next thing I have to do is that I have this saved up. So I've already saved it. So I can go to the location where I save it, which is here, and I'm just going to copy the directory. So I'll copy it up. Then I'll come back to this shapefile I want to join here. You can see here, right click on it and go to, this is join and relate. So I'll click on join. Now, what I need to do is, here you have, let us join and append additional data to the layer attribute table, so you can, for example, symbolize the layer feature using this data. What do you want to join to this layer? So attribute joining. So I want to do attribute joining, or do you want to do join from another layer based on the spatial location? So since there is no spatial location with the other one, what I need to join is attribute table. So now it will ask me a question, which of these table do I want to use? You can see here, I have feed one, which I can use. What do,
Okay.
yeah, you get that?
Yes.
Because my aim is to use the FDI, which is field, to join it. Now what I need to do is to import and select the location of that, so which I am going to use the capital.csv, and I'll click add. Now it will automatically read this and it will bring the table, so you can see I have FID. So this is what can be joined, FID, FID. So this does not mean, it does not supposed to have the same name. You can use another name for the title in the Excel sheet here. And what I mean is that you can still use your name, you can use anything here. It must not be FID. What matters is when you get here, select it here. I don't know, you get what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you are done with this, you can validate. A validation is to making sure that such data exists. As you can see here, we have validated and this is clean. So such data exists, so it means that we can actually join this without error. Do you see what happened? So
Yes, sir.
now the second option is we can use the state which is name 1, and automatically it check the state and we can use the state. See, automatically this comes in here. So if I validate again, you can see it validated and the record is clear. So it means that using this Excel sheet, I can use the state to join, which is correct, and I can use FID to join. So no matter the number of data that follows here, it doesn't matter. What matters is, do I have a field that I can join it with the other one that have the same kind of key or the same kind of number that is corresponding with this particular number in the Excel sheet. So when that is true, as you can see here, as you see here now, I have state here and I have name 1 here. It doesn't matter the title. What matters is the information that you are going to match. Are they matching with each other? Is that okay?
Yes.
So once you are done, you click OK. And when you open up the attribute information, you will see that it have added it, the state and the capital. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so you see automatically we have the capital here and we have the state here. So this is the state, this is the capital. It have joined it correctly and that is perfectly okay. And you can see here feed, the feed, and it is perfectly matching. So it means that if you want to label this layer with the state and the capital now, you can change, go to the layer, the properties, and change this. It have added it to the capital here, and you can add this and click OK. That will automatically label it with the capital name. So automatically this is perfectly done. So this is a way you can join and relate that. So if you are working in a geospatial entity or environment and you have a lot of data you need to relate, you don't need to start editing them. Whether they are complete or not complete, all you need is a key that you want to join, and automatically you can use this method to get them joined. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, so now if you look here, you will see that you can remove, but it's still there. So if you remove it, it will go. So it is in real sense, it is also nice when you finish this, you can export this layer to creating a new layer so that it will not, because if you create a new layer, you won't have this remove. You see, it's still in CSV. So it will join it and become fully part of that particular layer. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to say here.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so now, did you understand this? Do you have any question on this?
Yes, you said if you want to export it.
Yes. Okay, let me give you example of what I'm
Okay.
saying. I want to export it now. And I want to save it here as Nigeria. I'm going to put it capital. So I'm going to pick it Nigerian cap. So, and I save. Then I click OK. And it will add it to a layer. Now, let's quickly inspect this layer.
Okay, you now delete the former one.
Yes, I will remove the format, but I want to show you a little bit difference of what I'm explaining. I want to right click on this one, which is where we join. If you go to join and relate, do you see remove joins?
Yes, yes.
Now I want to do the same thing here. Go to join and relate. Here, I want to go to remove. Did you see the remove now?
Yes, sir.
Now what's the difference between the two?
Okay. It means for this one, for this first one, for that Nigerian cap,
Okay.
it means the field has already been added. Is
Yes.
there?
Yes.
Yes. And the
Yeah.
other one is not there.
Yes, yeah, that's perfectly. That's the difference. It means that this one have it here, so it have integrated it as part of this shapefile. But in this one, it have integrated it, but you can remove it at any time you want to remove. Like I see now, if I remove it now, look, I want to remove it. I want to remove all. Now, if I open this table now, you see that the capital is no more here. So
Yes.
it is didn't form as part of the shapefile. Do you get that? But
Yes.
in this one, it has been integrated as part of the shapefile. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So, any other question?
No, sir.
Okay. So, can you direct me? I want you to direct me now. I have another table that is population. Okay.
Okay.
Now, having you, we agree that we understand this. You can
Yes.
see here, this is which of these column can I choose to use to add to join the population to this attribute table. Now I want to add it to this. Which of them do you think perfectly suit in for this? Have you inspected this?
Yes, yes.
Can I go to the Excel sheet?
Yes, sir.
So I'm at the Excel sheet of population. Tell me which one best fit it.
This state,
What about the capital?
you can it's still the same thing. You can use state, you can use capital.
So why will you use the capital?
The capital because it has the same column.
That's true. So because there is a column here that have capital here. So that is why you can use it. Before we choose to use FID, but now we are using the capital. Then we can also use the state. So is it possible that you can direct me on what I'm going to do to join the population with this?
Okay, sir.
All right, so
Okay,
this is the population. Now, like I said, I've saved the population already. So what is left for me
okay.
now is for you to direct me on what I'm going to do. So the next thing is, right? Should I go here?
Yes, you have to copy that Excel.
I have to copy it. How?
Yeah. I'll be save rather.
You
You
see?
have to save it. You have
Yeah,
to save it
yeah,
first.
I've saved it already.
Okay, okay. Then we go to the ArcGIS environment.
Okay,
Then we come to we right click.
right?
Then we go to join and relate.
Okay,
Okay, then we go to join.
all right.
Yes. Then the first one
Okay,
will be what we like. Capital. It will be capital.
okay. So you want us to use the capital, right?
Capital. Yes. Sir.
Okay,
Yes.
so here,
Nigerian state.
what should I do here?
Choose the table to join. This one is what we want to join.
Okay, what do I want to join?
Choose the table to join to the table. Like what you saved earlier.
Okay, so let me go. Then this is the population. I'm
Yes.
click to click add. So you can
Then
see.
similar, yes.
So
The
we
what's this
can.
called? The similar name
Okay,
in
so
ArcGIS environment.
can we validate?
Yes, sir.
So we can validate, and that says that is correct. So when that is done, what next do we need to do?
Mm. We check it. We open attribute. Okay.
So yeah, we'll click OK.
Validate.
Yeah, that's perfectly. So if you go to attribute table, you can see that we have appended the population data to it. Is
Yes,
that okay?
yes, sir.
Okay, so let us export it and make it Nigerian pop. So we go down to this, and here we rename this to pop, which is Nigerian population, and we'll click OK.
Mhm.
And as it's done, so this is amazingly great. Yeah, so if you see here now, we have the population. And see, this is a population. So we can decide to remove this feed.
Mhm. Yes.
We can decide to clean up this feed.
Yes.
Go because the more data we have, the more size we are going to be having.
Yeah.
So we have this, so we can decide to remove name 1 since we have the one that is written state. So you can see
Yes.
this one written state. So we can remove what is not necessary here, leaving the population
Mm.
data. Is that okay?
Yes.
So now that this is what um, we have done now, and you can, like I told you, if you want to label this is Nigeria, and if you want to label it by the states, you are going to label it by the states. So labeling by the states, the state capital, sorry, you can go here, go to the capital, label it, and you can see it is having the capital of the state. Then another thing, label it by population, click label, it is going to bear all the population. As you can see, it's showing the population. Now I am returning back to labeling it as states, probably hold it and click OK. Now I want us to work on another thing, which what we are going to, do you have a question
So I
on this?
have a question. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yes. And what if I want to label it like with this state and the population like two? Is it possible?
Yeah, it is possible to label it with two something. Yeah, I have that in mind. I wanted to teach you something. I want to teach you labeling as a single topic. You know why?
Okay, sir. No, I
Yeah,
don't.
the reason is because there is a lot of things to label, and labeling goes in different way. We have this, we have label here. So
Mm,
I wanted to teach you about labeling because there are a lot of things about labeling.
okay.
There is many things to do in labeling. So I wanted us to treat labeling as independent topic because let me use, for example, you have a label you need to do and the name is too long, crossing each other,
Okay.
or you have a long name. So how are you going to get those things done? So I wanted us to talk about it, but we can just talk about it a bit, the way you can make
Yes.
those labeling possible. So that's really, really possible. So if you look here, there are a lot of things to label here. Curve,
Yes.
horizontal, because if you go to the label,
Okay.
you see you have only one option to make labeling. But there are other ways to make
Okay.
labeling here. You can may place
Okay.
in first, offset, you can go to the property, which is what you can see here. Fitting strategy, you can see here, abbreviation, labeling, labeling, labeling. You can see stack labeling, you can see overrun features, you can see reduce font, density.
Okay.
These are different when it is conflicting. So these are different ways you can make this labeling. But we can also try. I just wanted us to talk about label because you can copy, you can paste parameter. There are a lot of things to do here. So labeling
Okay.
is something important to me because there is a time you'll be doing a work and
Street
you,
guide map.
yeah.
Like when doing street guide, all these
Yes,
street
yes,
guide
yes,
map.
yes, yes. So it is
I've
some,
done one before.
yeah.
So
So
I
you
can
might,
relate.
yeah, you might really suffer when you don't understand the labeling because,
I suffered. I was
yes,
just like, how are people doing it online?
yeah. So we need to talk about that well because many people only use labeling by going to the property and label here, like what
Yes,
we're doing.
exactly.
And I will also teach about expression. As you can see here, we use any of this way, like you can see here, either it is Python, JavaScript, or Visual Basic. So these are different other types of labeling. You can see here, this is Maplex. So we are going to talk about labeling better ways. That's not a problem. So, but in this part, in this aspect, like you see the way I put it up, let me put capital and states. See, both of them are here. So if you say label the capital, for example, this is manually how many people do it. You see that it is having two label on it now. Now, if I want to
Okay.
label this by population, I can go in here and then get to the property of here, and I will choose the
Okay.
population. and put it under this
Okay.
layer like this. So you see that
Okay.
each
Wow.
of these states have the labeling
Wow.
Nigeria
Yes.
and the population. But
Okay.
the capital, let me change the capital now to let me change the capital now to the state so that you have the states.
Yes.
Yeah, so you
State
have the
and
state and the capital.
population.
So this gives you the population like this, but I'm going to show you the smart way of labeling it, like what you have here, not having two layers. Because if we switch here to the layer, some people don't know this and they find it difficult. If we switch to this layer now, you see that it's showing you both the population because those two layers are
Yes.
existing. And if you turn this layer off, one of the label will go. You get
Yes.
it now?
Yes.
So
Yes.
now, yeah, but majorly what you can do here is you go to the population, the legend, right click on the legend, and then you go to the item here, sorry, general, remove the one you want to display. You don't want to display, let's say the population.
Mm.
Okay, let's say you want to remove the states, the capital. So take it down here, click apply, and that will only remain the population. Do you get it now? Here.
Okay. Yes.
Now, both of them will exist, but this is just what you have to do. This is manual, like a way of doing it manually. So we're going to do it digitally, the way it's going to work. So if you look at this, you see that delta states have labeled many times. You remember what I told you?
Wow.
So it have labeled
Yes.
delta, delta, delta. So you go to, let me look at the layer we're working on. So we're working on with Nigerian state. Go here to the property here, and then when you get to the property, you go to the labeling placement here. You see this is using map because we are using this, so that's why you have this. So if you go to the placement here, you can see this is space spread. These are other ways you can talk about conflicting, only this, near, remove overlapping one, density. You can see this fitting strategy. This is position and labeling. Then other labeling, these are different other types of labeling. This is position, how it's going to be. This is orientation, the way it's going to be. How do you want to orient it? You say align, either you want to make it straight or you want to make it curve. This is what we are going to talk about spatially, because we are going to bring up different types of maps and how do you fix those such kind of issues. So these are different
Okay.
things. Yeah. So on this, I am going to go down here. I'm going to cancel this. Go here and say remove this. So and I will say yes. It will switch it to normal. So if you look here, you see that I have
Sorry,
delta.
can you do that again?
I just go to the
Under
label.
labeling.
I just go to the labeling and turn this on because I'm using this part type of labeling here. You can see I'm using the labeling manager.
Okay.
Yes, I'm using the labeling manager. So we are going to explore all these options. As you can see, every option here, we're going to take time to explore every option in the labeling using the labeling manager so that you can know how to label. So what you see the data repeating based on the number of
Yes.
shapefiles we
Yes.
have here. So I just need to turn off this because this is what I'm using, and when I turn it off,
Okay.
delta will return back to normal the way it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, so now let's go into something. Let me turn off this and let me use the population. So I'll fit in this and I'll return back to the data view. Now, what I want to let you know now is aspect of population. You know, when you want to categorize the name before, when we group Nigerian states into different things, we go to symbology and we use category. Now, if you open
Mm.
category, you see you won't see population here. Is that okay?
Okay.
You don't see
Yes.
population because category using a unique field here, you use category here. Now,
Test.
when you're talking
Okay.
about numbers, you go to
Mm.
quantities.
Also, this.
We have talked about category. I've given you example
Okay.
of how you can make unique value, many and match symbols. So I want us to use this opportunity to talk about quantities. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in quantities, This is here you can do population over area density. If you want to get a density map, this is the
Okay.
perfect place you can get it. Now, let me use the example. I want to visualize the state here. You see here, when I put colors, you see what comes in here. Sorry, we're supposed to use this layer that we have population here. So let me still leave this, and then probably let me make this a hollow so that we have the other one behind it.
Okay.
And then I'm interested in using the population. Now in the population, you will see that when you go to quantities, you will see that the population will be here. Now, this is Nigerian map showing the population according to the five category,
Okay.
showing you Lagos High, Kano. Then Rivers is in the category of 2. You can see now that Ebonyi, Bayelsa have lesser population. This is how you can get it
Okay.
done. Do you get that? Now, assuming you want to talk about population density, what is population density? What is density map?
It's like the masses, like the number of people there.
Yeah, so in that way, let me assume that this population, the square area is correct. Now, if you click apply, you will see what happened here. So it means that in Boronu, people are enjoying themselves. This is lower, you can see. But in Lagos,
Okay.
people are dying. Ekiti, Abuja, based on the population. Ebonyi, the southeast, having the same issue down to Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa. But if you look at Niger, the population of Niger and the people staying there, you can see it here.
Okay.
This is here.
Okay. Yellow is the lowest.
Yeah, you can see it here. So maybe we can use another color, like, can we use this? No, let's switch, flip the symbol so that the red one should be the one that is having issue. If you look here, see Lagos is crying. Then these people are in the second category. The third category, as you can see, is the yellow here. The fourth category is this one. Whereas the fifth category is the green. Borno are enjoying themselves. Taraba, Nasarawa, Niger, based on the population density. So this is a way you can get that done. You remember, you normalize it with this. So this is a perfect way of it. Or you can also say percentage of the total. You click here, it will give you this, and if you apply it, you see the different thing. By percentage of the total, you see that Lagos, the population by percentage of the total, you see that 0 to this, you can see people that have up to 7%. Lagos is dying.
Okay.
So, so this is
Okay.
practically a way you can work on population. So on this, you are going to explore that yourself. So, but I want us to now see different types of classification. We have natural break. Now, assuming that somebody asks you that you want to classify the population of Nigeria on the same interval, like the population of Nigeria have to be on the same interval. Yeah, the same interval. Now, what do I mean by the same interval? Like, you want Nigerian population to be graded on the same interval. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So they have to be on the same interval where each and every one of them have to be maybe 10 to 20, 20 to 25, 30 to
Okay.
35. Yeah. So this is a way you can do it, because this is if you look at the classification, it is in natural break. So, but we want to classify them into 5 categories, or let's, since Nigeria have 6 geopolitical zones, let's make them into 6 categories in the equal interval. And this is the equal interval here. You can see. So the equal intervals, it have to go with the equal interval. So if I click apply, you should be able to see Nigeria in the equal interval. So you can see,
Okay, sir.
putting it up here, Kano, this is the second category and third category. So you can get this way, or you can also use another, this, you can select another color, then click apply, you should be able to see the Nigeria in equal interval. You can see right now the pattern it shows. So you have Lagos, you have Bayelsa, and this, you have this, you have this one, you have the green one. So, but if it is, these are different types of classification. Now, all of them have the reason. This is based on standard deviation. This is based on geometrical intervals. This is based on quarantile. So there are certain reasons, maybe when you're doing research, why you need to use what and why. So they have their different algorithm which works on those kind of classification. As you can see, this is what it gives us. So if you ask classify it into 20, you just go here, select 20, and it will be classified into 20. You can see. Then if you're interested in just classifying Nigeria into three, like high, low, and medium, so you can just make it three and apply, and you can see that this is where Nigeria have high population. Let's switch back. Red is low population, you can see. Then the green is mid, where the population have is medium, and then where you have this is where you have high population. So based on that, depending on what you want to classify, is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So I want to make it into 5, and then probably change this into the same this thing here. So let me change it here and click OK, and this gives me the Nigerian population based on that particular classification algorithm. Like I said, the type of classification, it varies, either natural break, either equal intervals. You see here, use quarantine. If you go here, let's use natural break. Then if you click apply, you should be able to see the Nigerian population based on the natural break here. You see Lagos and Kano have the highest population, whereas Bayelsa and Lake Chad are enjoying themselves. So is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so now the same thing you can return here. You see up here, this is the population. Now I want us to group this into something again. Yeah, so I want us to make this population here better. So let us improve it because it's just a number. So we are going to say the here we have this range here. So let's go to classify, and you see here we want to make it from 0 to 20 something. So we are going to count this 0. This is 1, 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are going to put 23. So we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we want to define it to be a perfect 0, 0, 0, for example. So we want another population that is going to be to 50. So let's make this, this is still 6. So let's make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then let us also make this to the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Want to make it a perfect. Now this is 930, which is 9 million. So we can choose to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 9 million. Now this is 16 million. Now this is okay here because this is from 16 million and above. We click here and then we click OK. Now these have actually made it perfectly to that. Now what is remaining? We can decide to make it affect the labeling here. We can say 0 to 20, and if you say here show the scale margin, you see here it is showing the margin here, but if you don't want, it will retain it from 0. You see the difference? Now what I want us to do here in the labeling, we can say here we remove this and put 0, and then it will be here. Are we still
Okay, go
together?
in. Yes.
Okay, so now I can from here now, and I can say this, and I can type this and above. Now if I click apply, this will be like this and above. So if I go to the layer view, you will see that it is going to label it like this for me.
Okay, sir.
Do you get it now? So I made it
Yes, sir.
perfectly into this way. So you are going to do the assignment, which you are going to make it also perfectly like this. See the way it is?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, you make it
Okay.
0 to this to this, and this is the population as related to it. So you see the Nigerian population here. This is where you have 9 million and above. So you see here, if this is much for you, remember that in here you can remove this and put million. Let me
Okay.
give you example, because this is your labeling. So you
Okay.
can make that to whatever you want, depends. So I am putting million. So you see this now giving me 2 million to 4 million. So this is exactly what I want to do. So you put it up like that. So you can put M depending on what you want. So you see here million. So I'm just going to copy so that I can just make edit on it. So you see this way, I am able to put it up like this. So I can still make those edit here and then paste the million. This is 4 million, right? And then paste the million. This is 6 million here. Then I'll paste it. This is 9 million. Then I'll paste the 9 million. This is this, and then I will also paste it. So when this is done and I click OK, you will see that my table this will revert to the million this way. So this is a way I can get this population done like this. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so this is pretty much of it. But before we do that, I want to show you one more thing. Now, so this is now UTM of Nigeria zones, but I want to change it to map of Nigeria population. So now this is done. As you can see, go to my view, and this is on this. So I can decide to like make it the way I want to make it. So let's go and increase the numbering, change the scale. So I'm going in to put up the labeling tab, and then let me change this to 10, bold it, and then I like using this font sometimes. So I have this. I need to also go to the population here, do the same thing, and then open up this same thing, make the same population here to be 10, this to be also 10, and then bold it and click OK. So we have the same kind of font pattern. Then I can save this. Then the same thing, we are free to export our map in PDF or PNG, whichever one is convenient for you. So I'll click home, then click a bit backward to go to the folder we have as map and open it up here. So I am going to have Nigerian, let's spatial journey, and then PDF, and I'm going to click on this to save it, and that's going to export it. Now go down here, return back here, go down to the map, and you can see that we have this map in here. So let's open and see what we have. So we have the Nigerian map showing us the population. You can see here the name and the population pattern. So where you have this 0 to 2 million, where you have this is equal to 2 million to 4 million. This is Bayelsa, Nasarawa, and Ekiti, where you have this 4 million to 6 million comprises of this pattern. When you have 6 million to 9 million is this one, and where you have 9 million and above, Katsina, this and this. So this is like pretty much of it. But before we go, I want to tell you about Centroid. A Centroid, like for example, if you look at this map and you have a shapefile like this, and I want us to just like assume that each capital, you want to make analysis, and somebody asks you that Nigeria, that we want Nigeria to have the capital at the center. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah, you have Nigeria to have their capital at the center. Like, how do you get that done? So to get that done, we are still working with shapefiles. So if you want to get the center of every shapefile, either Nigerian shapefile or cadastral shapefile or any shapefile of your choice, how do you get the center where that seems to be the center of a shapefile? Just go to the Arc toolbox. When you go to the Arc
Okay.
toolbox, go to Arc toolbox, go to data management tools, go to feature to point. For example, you select feature to a point. Now, a feature to a point, what does it do? It creates a feature class containing a point generated from the respective location. So when you input it, it's going to give you this kind of point. So we are going to select the Nigerian cap. Let's save this anywhere. Inside, this shows, if you check it, it uses the center of the input feature as the shape. So when you click on this, so let's wait for it and see what we're going to have. So we are going to have the map displayed like the point. So it's going to calculate and give you the centroid. So what am I going to do? Let me turn off this, and you see that it have calculated where the center is located. Is that okay?
Okay.
So
Yes, sir.
now I want to assume that in what we do, I want to assume that this is the center. And you see here, it have captured all the information about that is in the attribute table. So assuming I want to say that the center here is the capital of each of the states. Remember, that's not the capital, but I just want to say that each state supposed to have the capital at where that is center to everyone.
Okay.
So I'm going to put the capital here, but remember, like I said, this is not the capital for each of the states because each state does not have the capital at the center. But I just want to assume that Oshobo, Abuja, everything is in this. This is the center. So based on this, it makes this analysis and make sure that here this will be the same convenience center for everybody coming here or everybody coming here. In Ibadan, this will be the best center for everybody coming from here and anybody coming from here. In Oshogbo, in Ekiti, in Akure, in Abuja. So this will be the best center for anybody coming anywhere. So you can see the way it's scattered it up here. So in Mina, this will be the
Okay.
best center. In Damaturu, this will be the best center. In Kano, this will be the best center. So this is the same thing. So I just want to like assume, like I said, I want you to assume that this is actually the center. So I am going to export this and make it, um, let me just type it, save it as capital. So I'm just going to like export and save it as capital. So I'm saving it as capital, and that takes me to this. So I'll add it to the layer and I'll remove this. So now you see this, I can just make it capital. So let me just check, search for any features I'm going to add to it. There is no perfect feature matching for it, but let's assume that this is where we want to make the center of the every state. So we can just select this and place it here, and you see this gives us the center of each of the states. And I can now label it again, and you see that it is labeling it based on the state capital. Like I said, that is not the state capital, but we are just assuming that. So every shapefile you have or any shapefile you are working with, this is the perfect way of creating the centroid, the center. Like you can see how it
Okay,
is
sir.
centered here. Yeah, so this is perfect for getting it done. And do you have questions? Like I said, I want you to make sure you get to understand everything that's related to how to work with those shapefiles and any of them. So based on this, do you have any questions so far?
No, sir.
All right, so I think I will share with you the data I use, and then you can actually use that as well to fix on what you need to fix on. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey,
So
but suppose how can I download data from all this website you sent to me?
okay, yeah, I'm going to send you that. I'm also going to share the data with you. Um,
Like if I want to download anything, in case I might want to download anything, can you please show me?
yeah, I'm going to do that right now.
You can still share me the shape price, but I just want to know in case
Yeah,
of other time.
yeah.